Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here, a celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. We're gonna celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you.
Prize for our Beyond Boundaries people, but we got our book Beyond Boundaries actually got invited to display and showcase our book in the Beijing International Book Fair. I'm going to show you, see if I can show the screen a little bit here. Let's see. It is actually amazing. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me show you. So that's the email part I got. It says, Dear Constance, display and showcase your book at the Beijing International Book Fair. And that is the Beyond Boundaries book, everybody. Valuable tool to enhance visibility and gain exposure. And basically, the exposure that they have, it says Chinese market is one of the largest and fastest growing in the world. With over 2 billion people, education is a high priority for the government. And every Chinese child is required to learn English when they enter school, which puts English language content in high demand. The Beijing Book Fair is attended by over 30,000 people each year. So I actually asked the process of how it works. It costs money, obviously, but basically how it works is that they would put our book in a catalog, put a description, and the people who would come in there are actually like, think of Barnes and Nobles, and they have a book buyer. They come in, scan the code for our book catalog, and they order our books for their own people. So I don't know if I'm going to do it yet, but there's a lot of book fair, even in DC, that I got invited to. So that means, guys, that the distribution channel that I paid for is working for our book. The press releases apparently wasn't 242. It was like over almost 800 press release. It's working because we are getting traction in our book. And that means by the way, the press releases that I did for our book, all 26 co-authors, including me, 27 authors in this book, your name, okay, is actually in that branding, in that amplification, right? Your names, each and every single one of you, your names is dragged that way, okay? So that is so exciting for me to help all of my co-authors and their names out there to the world. And that is the goal, right? Our anthology coming up with Susanna. I can't do it without my sister, just be honest with you, okay? May 1st. So you have less than a week to actually join us. And the smart move, actually, which we thought about it and Jacqueline is doing it, is that if you are entering in our anthology most of the time, because we already edited it, not only will you save $10,000, $15,000 on editing if you do it on your own, but you could literally create a book after what? I'm gonna ask Susanna, how many things should we have, sister? Here she is. How many books or how many anthologies do you think one would get to create a whole book? Like, how many chapters did you have on your book? You're on mute, I think, because I can't hear you. Just FYI.
Well, that's because you told me to be on mute.
Yeah.
No, the one that I did, I've got 40 chapters, but there are a variety of sizes. As you can remember, we're talking about chapters in our anthology that are anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 words.
Yeah.
So if you were to do a 60,000 word book, that's about 20 chapters. But here's the other thing. If you doing the chapters with us, and you write what you write, we have our limit, but it also could be the start of 2 or 3 more chapters.
Expansion.
Exactly. And then those just will flow naturally as you're building your book.
Yeah. Right? That is so amazing. So, and Jacqueline's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go in all of your anthology. You guys already edited it. So by the time I'm done with my story, it's all put together. And guess what? You guys are gonna publish my book. And I'm like, hey, okay, that is smart, right? Writing on
Yep.
each chapter with us because we already edited it. We just publish it, and then now you have an option to just go to Kindle. Or go to Amazon, which it's limited, or go hybrid, but that is a little bit more in terms of um, payment because it goes to somebody else, a third party. But the one thing good about that third party is that they do the printing. Speaking of which, I know none of you guys have the new book. Guys, look at this. Okay. Oh my gosh. I have to take out my thing so you guys can see it. Um, yeah, that's my setup. Okay. So this is the old book that we have from Amazon that you guys got, right? This is the spine. This is the back, right? And my husband's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. And Susanna's like, you could do this. I'm like, oh, okay. To-do list. This is the new book. Different seal. Okay. There's the spine. So you can put it on your library and you know where it is. And this is the back. Okay.
And it
So
looks
if you
great.
look at side to side, oh, it feels good. The paper is even better. Side to side, notice that the seal is different and this has bigger head than this one. And then the inside, it feels so good. The paper, I made it look more like a vintage feel. Um,
Right.
the inside feels so good and it's softer. It is a little bit thicker than this, just a little bit. I don't know if you can see, just a little bit thicker. But the quality of the print is much better. I don't know what to tell you. Like even my daughter's like, "Oh, this feels better, mom," and my husband too, because they're very opinionated in my house. Okay, um, but it feels so good. But that is the new book. It is available now on my website, guys. You can buy it, and remember, we're buying trees. And I also have to up the book is $24.99 because we're trying to not only buy trees, but also making sure that we are getting our amplification out there. And that's where we come in. Now, let's bring the rest of the people. That's why I don't have any intro right now because I want everyone to come in like right away. We are limited on time. Let's bring in Ross. Yay. How are
Woohoo!
you? Woo woo.
I am so good. How are you ladies?
Good, thank you. And
Good.
there's no better person to talk about support for our community over here.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, I'm all about community. I love it. I love it. And I'm just thankful for the two of you, all that you're inspiring and all that the action you're taking to positively affect the community and build the community. It's just amazing. I'm blessed to be part of it.
We're blessed to have you.
Oh, absolutely. And we've
Thank
been in
you.
how many books together now?
We have done, I think, 3 books together or 4. I don't know. We've done several.
Rattle the
And
Wake, A Note to Family, and this. So I guess three, Beyond
3.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. And yeah, I know. And we've done a couple separate. I know, Susanna, you did yours, and I did one, Perspectives on Cancer with Tim Sohn. And then, of course, I have my own book, and you have your own book. And we've just been writing books like crazy.
That's so true. That's so true. Let's go ahead and bring our bro, the best cheerleader in town for sure. And I'm talking about LinkedIn town. Oh, Brother Ollie, are you ready? We're going to bring you in. Let's go. There he is.
Oh, yes. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
loud and
absolutely.
clear.
Cool. Happy to be there. I'm really blessed to be invited. How are you doing?
Good. I think this is this your first time in the TV?
I think so. So I just did the best I could to be on time. And to be there. I'm there for supporting you and the community.
Yes. And there's no better way than to also bring in our sister, Dr. New. Let's bring her in. Hello, community.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, sis.
Love
Let's
the
Hi,
bring her.
background,
CJ.
new. Love it.
I know.
Thank you, Russ and Ollie. We are on cloud right here with
That's right.
CJ.
On cloud. We're going to take Jenny. Let's go. There she is. Oh, she's on cloud too. Oh, I love it. And then, of course, we have Shanta. Let's bring her
Yay.
in. I have one favor, guys, okay? One special lady that helped me with Susanna's birthday on Tuesday, Sindal. It was her birthday, and she's a fellow hound. And so, can we sing happy birthday really quickly before we start? Like, I really want to sing happy birthday for her. Ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Happy
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 birthday
birthday
to
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you. Happy
birthday.
birthday to you,
Uh,
Sindar. Joyeux anniversaire.
Ready? Oh, where's the drum roll, right?
Wow.
I love
I
you.
love it.
As you can
Let's
tell, we
go
didn't
really
rehearse,
quick.
right?
I know. We're gonna go
Freestyle.
start with Sister Susanna, and I wanted to ask her.
You froze, sis. Or I froze. Somebody froze. I think so.
What does community support means to you?
Community support is knowing that you've got people that have your back. That when you want to, when you have ideas, when you even just on this book, when we did this anthology, to see the support of every one of these authors, both putting it out there, talking about the book, and actually the way they supported each other within the writing of the book. It's a community, it's a team. It's everybody doing what they can to help each other be the best that they can be.
I love that. Russ, how about you, sir?
Well, I am all about community because that is how we get things done. We are better together, right? And just like Susanna said, we have come together with our strengths and weaknesses, and we have melded together to make some amazing things happen. And I'm a firm believer that God has given us this amazing task to get out there and do great things, but we have to take action. And we can't do it all. We need each other. It does take a village. It takes a community to come together. And I'm so thankful to be part of this community.
Thank you for being here. You're one of those community connectors that I love, and I mean it in your show. It's because
Thank you.
I've had experience before where you get asked, right? And it's a privilege to be asked to be in any show. It doesn't matter, big, small, whatever influencer, I don't care. Just being on someone's show, taking someone's time, right?
Right.
And they never pick us up. They just left us on there waiting. And I'm like, that's weird. Why would you ask someone to be in your show and not get them in? I will never forget that. And I will never go back to that show. So, and I've seen you when you have people in your show, you're excited, you're so loving, and you're so kind. And we were talking behind your back. I'm not going to tell you who I talked to. It wasn't Susanna. Okay. And we were like, isn't Russ so amazing? He's like just the best uncle ever. Like, you just want to hang out with him because he makes you feel like that. I'm going to tell you, because sometimes you don't get feedback, right? You just assume everything is good, but you are that person. So I just want you to know, thank you for your support, undying support all the time,
Thank
right?
you.
So I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
so amazing. Shanda, how about you, ma'am?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, community and community support for me is honestly the responsibility of everyone individually doing what they can to support their community. It's oftentimes that it's those little pieces compiled together that make the movement. So I think that when we get into our heads that doesn't matter how big the initiative is, when we break it down into little small increments and you do your part, then we can get it done. And that's what it is for me.
Yeah, you do a lot for your community and our community, really. You tried your hardest and your best to help kids and help children with their mental well-being. And sometimes it feels like you're alone because and you're struggling because there's so many pieces you want to do, but no one to do them. Right? And when we're limited with resources, it's hard. It's really hard and difficult to get up and says, "Can I really do this? Am I really doing this?" Right? But we love you, Shanda. I see emotions
Yeah, I
right
love you
there.
too.
You can cry, sister. It's okay.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's a lot, but I'm finally seeing the movement, and I love the community and the support that we have. So thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. It means so much. So I'm just happy and glad to be here.
We love you. Don't worry, we got you, right? Sometimes it feels alone, but it only feels alone when you don't share your problems, for sure, right? Jenny, sister, my pink, always pink sister. I love it. What does support for our community means to you?
Support and community to me means that you do come together. Obviously, it does take a tribe, it takes a herd, in my words, and coming together, supporting one another, sharing what you are experiencing, what your needs are. A leader admits and asks when they need help. They can delegate easily. They can say, "Hey, I'm struggling with this." They can allow their empathy, their compassion, their feelings, and whatnot to be able to show. And that's something that we're all really good at, you know. And I also think that it means, you know, sharing our platforms, sharing our knowledge, sharing our ideas. Even, you know, like some of us may get ideas all the time. If you know somebody that can do something with that idea and you don't have the time right now, give it away. It's just you're a recipient of that thought, but that doesn't mean it's not a gift that you can't give away. The point is that it's able to be created and, you know, and go out into the world. And I think that's it, holding each other accountable, and responsible, and encouraging and loving one another how we are. And when somebody's really, really struggling and showing signs of not being who we know they can be, it's pulling them in the center of the tribe. It's pulling them in the center and loving them extra until they're able to, you know, return to that centered self, because that's what they need at that time. So I think all of
I've
that is.
learned to be extra, 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 extra compassionate lately and
Yes.
empathetic because I wish that someone would give me that extra, extra, extra empathy.
Oh,
I've
here
seen
it is. Here it
people,
is. Extra, extra,
right?
extra.
Like, I've seen people let me down left and right, and I give them so much potential that I could see, and I give them push and push. And they say yes, but I think they're just hearing the yes, but they're not doing the work. And I also wanted to have to put myself in that situation that I don't know what's going on through their lives. I don't know what kind of problems that they're having. I cannot judge based on, oh, you didn't do this job, right? I cannot do that to them. So I'm trying to be extra compassionate and empathetic for people that I've come across that I gave them opportunity and it just doesn't work sometimes because of their own limitations and not their own control. I have to think that
Yeah.
positive, right? Because if you become pessimistic on people, sometimes you pull them down more than they already are.
Right.
So I try to be extra empathetic. Sister New, support for our community. You're all over, so I know you know this. How do you support our community, sister?
Well, for me, thank you. Happy, thankful Thursday. What a wonderful day that we can join from all of our brothers and sisters, like, Russ, Ollie, and now Shonda, Jen, Susanna, and Sis, and all those who are listening to us live and on the replay. But really for me, community is really how do we be present and give a being really present and not judge, right? The community is really about having a share common interest or goals or experiences, whether it's a project that you're doing together, but a values of love and the kindness and empathy and compassion. That's who I am. I think if we put that in before we put in our own bias, that is where truly we can support one another, we can uplift one another, and then we can be understanding and have a culture of care, so that way when we are part of a community like the Level Up or the Hounds of Business or the Cancer Conquering community, or like showing up, perspective on cancers and things that are amazing community, or like Shonda, with the mental health, belonging to a tribe that really put people first and putting the well-being of that individual. Even though you have different background, different industry, but you can come together for a common, because we all bleed the same. We all wants to be heard and be loved. So we need to pass it on to that act of kindness to ourselves, our love to ourselves, and have compassion for others. I think that is where we truly can connect, we truly can collaborate, and we truly can lift one another up when they're feeling down. You can pick up those cues and say, "Are you okay today, Russ? Are you okay today, Ollie?" Or Susanna, Jen, or Shonda or CJ or New, right? That's when you are genuinely care for one another and have a mutual respect. And I think that relationship goes far beyond just that one project. That's how I feel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because a project is a starter, right? We're building a community. We can go off from somewhere else from here. It could just be one time, it could be two times, it could be three times, but it's a starter, right? Now, Ollie, what does support for a community means to you, brother?
First, I would like to thank you, CJ, and your community, and Mike and his community, the Hounds of Business. It's been a journey since August, and I've been blessed to be within your heart and within Mike's heart and each of you, your heart. And for me, I've been diving in internet since 29 years, 95, and it's the first community with Mike also, Hounds of Business, that I feel really empathic, compassion, and also a check-in, a receiving message. How are you feeling, brother? And that's really a blessing. And it's about, I love Mike's expression, sharing our crayons. I can bring purple, you, CJ, and Jen Lin could bring pink, and orange, yellow, and different paintings, brushes, and we are painting a palette together as a community, and we always encourage each other to improve our art. And we are all artists, and we have all different energies, and combined, these energies are elevating this world, leveling up this world and humanity. That's why I am in your community. I will always be there, because we are elevating each other's. And thank you for giving me grace, for allowing my energy to express and to support each other. That's the key, to never let anyone alone, to say, oh, how are you doing? How can I help you? And to help each other. So that's my intake. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ollie. And thank you for almost 1,200 people watching us live on YouTube. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. If you are on LinkedIn commenting, I cannot see it and I can't put it in here, so I will reply to you soon. But we'll go back to Russ because he does need to leave in 5 minutes. What I want to ask really is, how hard is it to be neutral, right? Because there's always this people where there's this camp over here, this group over here, this silo over here. how hard is it to be neutral knowing that there are certain camps that you belong, that they don't get along? That's really what I'm willing to like listen to you for.
So my whole perspective and thought on that is to focus on where we all agree, where we all come together, because there's so much commonality, so many positive things we can do as a group together instead of focusing on the difference. So when you're with different groups, it's interesting because when I was in high school, been just a couple of years ago, been a minute, um, I was one of those guys that hung out with everybody. I was friends with pretty much everybody. I played sports, so I hung out with the jocks. I was in music, so I hung out with the music nerds. I was hanging out in just community groups at school. So I was with all different groups in the school, people that were really focused on education, some focused on activities, whatever. And there were differences in all that. And I see that that is a little microcosm of life. We grow up and it just becomes different groups. But you know what? I found from early on that if I focused it on the positive things about people and the positive things of life and where we did agree and not argue about just so much like our climate today, everybody beating each other up over what they don't agree on. Why don't we come together on what we do agree on? And that is how I tend to be able to move from one group to another without a lot of challenge. It's been a blessing for me.
I love that. I do love that. Focus on the community.
Yes.
And that's what Susanna and I are always focusing is, yes, we are different, but we're the same in terms of communities, right? But what I love about the Hounds is that there are so many more people out there who are the same than different.
Mhm.
And the same mean heart centered. And when people say heart centered, I hate that because it used to be just not a buzzword. Right now it's like
Right.
using it.
Yeah.
But you don't see, here's the thing, it takes a while for me to see when you say I'm heart centered because it's just a word at that point. But then when I see people really consistently show up and being heart centered, like you, all of you here are heart centered because I see it through your actions. And thank you
That's
for
it.
saying.
Yeah, let me just say that's it, CJ. It's the actions, is what you're doing. I just feel like God's called on us to love people. And when you start with loving people, things really work great from there. And so it just coming together.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you for that input because, like I said, we talk about you. Good things, though, good things. We're like, we love Russ. He's like this uncle that you just want to hang out all the time. Like, so someday I'm going to go visit my sister, Susanna, and we're going to call you and we're going to have coffee because I want to visit Oregon, one of
Yeah,
these
you got to
days.
come. You got to come, definitely. And I'm just going to say goodbye. Love you all. I got to roll, but have an amazing day.
Love you,
Yeah,
Russ. Have an
Love
love
you,
amazing
you.
Russ.
day.
I
Okay,
love
bye,
it.
everybody.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Now, guys, say hi to YouTube. We're almost at 1,300 live watching us. And this does not include the TV replay. Okay. So, TV Network 860, hello. Thank you for being here. Also, I want to go back and loop to my sister Susanna and go this way through Ollie and back. When you think about community and belonging, because I heard you on your conversation with Billy J and also with other people, like it's really important, right? We're all trying our hardest and our best to help others, but it's also important for us to help ourselves. More often, we put ourselves second, third, fourth, last on the list because we got family, we got bills, we got husbands, we got lovers, we got partners, like, and then we got our friends, we put our business, and then you're like, I don't got time for me, I'm just taking a nap, bye, right? So, dear sister Susanna, how do you put yourself first and not feel guilty about it? Because I know sometimes we feel guilty putting ourselves first.
That's one that I have enough issues with that I don't know quite how to answer that one. It's with the things that we want to get done, I mean, you talk belonging, that's one thing, and that's different than taking care of oneself in many ways, because belonging is how you're interacting with other people, but taking care of yourself, sometimes that just requires withdrawing from people to have that time for yourself. It depends on what you need to recharge.
Yeah. And I think it really depends too if you're an introvert and an extrovert. Because when I say belonging, it's because sometimes we all want to belong in a community and be accepted. But when you're on the ups and you can feed people's souls and you can do things for people, they're around you. But when you need downtime, we need to be quiet. When you need to be having an alone time, you need to recharge. I don't care if you're extrovert or introvert, you need to recharge. You would think your people that you belong to would understand. But when you come back to that community, it feels awkward, like someone just dump you on the side and you're like, hello, I'm back. Hey, are you guys seeing me? And they just feel like it's something off, right? Like it feels like a rejection. I'm like, it's been a long time since I broke up with someone, but that's how I'm feeling right now. What is happening? Right? And I feel that on some capacity on other groups that I belong to when I take time off. And the reason I take time off, I don't tell people everything that I do. I do a lot. I have ADHD, okay? And I am a recovering people pleaser. So I'm still not recovered. I'm still there. But it's really hard when you feel like you think you belong, but when you need to put yourself first, you lose community for some reason. And that's why it's all come together with support for our community. We like to support our community, but how about our community? Are they supporting us when we need to take time off? Right? Ollie, how about you?
Well,
We're going back to you.
yeah, I was thinking first, what is my energy? What is my why? What is my ikigai? The things that I can do, I'm good at, and I'm willing to do also for the community. And if do can I bring this energy to the community? Can I be of service? Is it helpful for the community? Can someone else do it better than me? Then I withdraw and I let my ego aside to let others people do better than me. So it's also managing the energy that I put in, also withdraw and setting boundaries, expressing my boundaries. And it's not a checkbox, it's like a daily or weekly. And it's also to have a check-in. It's really important to check in to each other. So that's really my take. It's about energy management and to connect from heart to humans. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. And you do, because sometimes we need a time off. And I just want to feel like my community supports me when I do take a time off. I'm not going to be 24/7 there. And I love communities who support that, being human, right? How about you, Sister New?
Yeah, and that's a lovely topic, and I think for us to to step away, to have that self care or recharge, so that way not only to prevent our own burnout, but also it's just for our mental well being and sanity. Sometime also the little quietness, like that you just need a little moment to yourself and not having to explain to your community or someone else that you just need some time to be alone. And for whatever reason you do need that. And I think it also tells you one, two things for me. When you come back to a community and if they drop you because you were away, then it was not meant for you, right? Because the community for me, I think it's like a family. Community is just a bigger word for an extension of family. So when your community accept you for who you are, they will embrace and love you when you come back. They will cheer you on and say, "Oh, welcome back. How was your wherever that you were having your time off." But everything will never have any gaps as if you never left. That is true community if it's aligned you are and your value, your purpose, and as the mission and the person as the leaders. And I think if they choose otherwise, then you know that it wasn't meant for you. It tells you who you are. And if you feel bad or if there's things that is calling you out, you also need to kind of stay in tune to kind of check yourself. Is it my ego that is like, am I hurt because, someone didn't give me attentions that it was before or whatever it is? Or you can continue on and just test, or like they call test the ride and see if it's going to be the same. If it's not the same, then you know it wasn't meant for you. And I think that, with everything, whether it's a community or a relationship, anything new is always going to be very nice and cheerful, right? Blossom and love and flower. But when you have ups and downs, or when you're not present and you come back and you have that gap, you will know if it was meant to be, right? And that, for me, that is a true way to test also. Sometimes it's not, you don't test it on purpose, but life happened to all of us, right? Whether it's by health or by our family or whatever it is. So we go and see how things will come out. Don't go against it. Just go with it.
Yeah.
And that's
You
how
can't control. That's what I always tell all my sisters, Susanna and Danielle. Don't worry about things you cannot control. Only worry about the things that you can. Because at the end, I don't know if you guys noticed that you have so much big problems, right? But it works out at the end. It always does, right? It always does. Right now, it's like, oh my God, I'm stressing about this. Ah. And then at the end, it's like, it will always work out. It just does. So then why are you stressing out, getting those cortisol, getting those adrenaline in your body for something you cannot control? Just believe it's gonna work out. Have faith. Jenny, sister,
Can I
how about
do
you?
one thing? I
Go ahead.
think, CJ, this you will love, because if you stress out, that out of your control, you're gonna age faster. So for people who are skincare and want to be healthy and be youthful,
Yes,
you
you
know,
got to get rid of the stress.
yeah, get rid of stress and smile more. That is
Yes.
your number one, being nature and be
Ollie,
happy.
Ollie smiles every time.
There you
Every
go.
time I see him.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love
You, Jen and CJ, love you.
love you. I think it's great. No, I think that for me, I am a recovered people pleaser. And I say that because I have learned 100%. I cannot really give if I'm not giving from a full cup. So I put myself into my day. Myself is on my calendar every, 25, 30 minutes. Even if I'm doing something like this, I've trained myself to be able to take that breath, reset, reconnect my heart with my, brain and whatnot, and let that centeredness happen. I get up at 4 a.m. every single morning to ensure that I have that alone time, that quiet time, that transition time between the day and the night. I take 5 vacations a year, just had one. And I just, you learn to be able to put yourself on the calendar and be relentless about your own needs. And then you find that not only are you able to do what you were doing, you're able to do even more, because it's truly like you've multiplied yourself. Mm-hmm. So when we meet our needs, that's when we're really truly at our most powerful, per se, and we're really able to step in and do what we can and be able to let go at the end of the day, right? There's so many things, like a lifelong practices that come together over a lifetime to be able to be in that space. And with, when we can come into a space and immediately just set the space up for success, when we come in giving compliments, when we come in saying, hey, it's so great to see you, I love you, oh, that blue looks so good on you, that the clouds, Dr. New, you're floating in them, and I believe that you're floating in them, right? Because you're just so cheerful. When we do that, that just reciprocates everybody's neurons, neurologically, biologically. We all will respond to that. And, so when we find those things, those are things we can immediately always do. We can immediately do that as we walk into a room. And I think when we do that, that opens up the windows to find those commonalities. And on judgment is always something that's coming from within. So if you're feeling a certain kind of way, like I love you, and if you need help digging to whatever it is that's coming up for you, I'm here for you. But the truth of the matter is, all day long, that's a you thing. That's you, right? And so when we can find that and respect that and work through that, then we can be around people that have that same whatever it is trigger without being triggered. And it's work. It's work.
It is
Self-love
work.
is
I'm so triggered. Okay, like there's certain people when I'm in that room, I'm like, and then I text Asana, I'm like, I'm
yes.
out. And I think it's like I said, it's a journey. It's a journey that I'm gonna go through
Yeah.
alone, but doesn't have to be alone, right? It's
Yes.
just sometimes when you're also having a lot of trauma on your own and you give your
Mhm.
heart, and someone just in your heart, and you're like, you know what? And I'm like, okay, CJ, calm down. You are not 20, so just calm down. You know what I mean? Like for real. I'm like, and my sister was like, meditate, CJ, meditate. I'm like, yes, Sister Susanna, can we go shopping on Amazon instead? And sister was like sending me pink sweater. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that is a cute sweater. Then ADHD, we have ADHD. So
Yeah,
once
me
we're
too.
angry, the next one we're love, we're smiling, we're happy. Like we don't stay in
Yes.
one place anyway. And so it doesn't really matter. So I just need a squirrel mind like to tell me something else. Shonda, sister, talk to me.
Yes, I think taking care of ourselves is infinitely important. And I think a lot of times what we assume and we jump to what most people say is for self-care is where we are taking time for ourselves. But in this age of what's going on post-COVID, we have been in perpetual isolation. So sometimes now what self-care looks like is actually taking time to be in the company of other people. But whatever it is, whether it's having time for yourself or having the time to connect with someone else, be in company, be mindful of that, be authentic with that, and unapologetic is my word. That's my favorite word. Um, it's okay to take care of yourself because you cannot take care of anyone else from an empty space. So I don't remember which of you said that you cannot take care of anyone else without an empty cup. So it's okay to do whatever that is that you need to make yourself overflow so that you can give to other people. And that's my one of the mental health strategies that we teach kids for suicide prevention is taking that time. And right now in this world, with so much isolation, we're in our phones, we're so disconnected from people that now it's a lot of being purposeful of finding the time to actually connect with someone in person, to put the phone away. So that would be my little piece.
Thank you for that. You're right. A lot of people are isolated more than ever because we're always on our phone, right? That's why I like being on the phone talking instead of like, going on TikTok, which by the way, I'm guilty. And I hate to come this to an end. We're almost hitting 1,300. Thank you, YouTube. And let's end with a quote, sister, about community. And let me start, and then we go through Shanda and end with Sister Susanna. Um, FYI, we do have to end at 9:52 because it is a TV network. But here's what I want to leave behind in this conversation is one of the marvelous things, okay, about community that I've seen is that it enables us to welcome and help people in, regardless of what walks in life, rich, poor, it doesn't matter. It's the way we couldn't, as individuals, we show up for our community. When we pull our strengths, we can achieve great things, just like what we did in this anthology. So keep on helping others because in this lifetime, it's really not just about you, it's about all of us in our community. How about you, Shonda? What would you say for your last space?
Mine would be community is purposeful and intentional. A lot of times we get bogged down by what we don't have in the community that we don't have. My family isn't this, my job isn't that, but we're in control of all of that. That community that you want begins with you. So you can create that space. You can literally create that space. When I didn't find what I needed for my son for suicide prevention, we created that space and now it's a community. So even if you are the first one in that community, be that first one and create strategically and on purpose what you need. And then that will spread.
Thank you. How about you, Sister Jen?
Yeah, I love that. I say that all the time, right? If you want something, if you want to do it, don't wish for it, don't reach out for it or chase after it necessarily. Create it. You can create it. You know, there are many types of loves, and there are many types of lovers, right? And community in business are not separate. And we have to bring all of ourselves. We have to bring all of ourselves into our businesses and into our communities. And the love that you need, that you're seeking, is a reciprocation of what you already have within you. And when you're able to do that self care within the community, right, you're able to match that. You're able to draw that to you. You're able to give. You're able to receive. It's that inexhaustible space of just being able just being and letting your heart serve, because that's really what we're all here for, is that service. And yeah, I think that's
Thank you
the
for that.
yeah.
How about you, Sister? No.
Yeah, so for me, I think community and how we can support for our community better is first we have to be mindful of being self aware of knowing who we are. So that way, when we are knowing who we are, what we stand for, we can not only show up better, we can listen more actively in our communities, having more loving kindness and empathy and compassion for ourselves, but also then you can also serve to your community much more better because it starts within us. Then you can give it all to your community with that love, that kindness, that empathy, that compassion. We have to practice that non-judgment so that we can provide more emotional support, space for our community, and collaborations. Right, is how we can support one another and be present. And so, practice gratitude and celebrate all the uniqueness and diversity and the beauties in our community. So that is it. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. How about you, Brother Ollie?
Bring your light. Ask for help if you need it. Pay attention about the words. Take time and space for meaningful questions and conversation. Be curious and enjoy each moment, and listen to each other's. Ask for help and bring your light. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you for bringing light always in our community. And if I don't see you, I'll be like texting you, bro, where are you? Like seriously, because when you are missing, I'm like, what's wrong with Ollie? Where is he? And I call everybody else. I'm like, Mike, have you seen Ollie? Susanna? No. Okay, let me text them. So that's what we do outside of LinkedIn. We harass each other if we don't see each other. Sister Susanna, let's end it with you, sis.
So we're talking about community. To feel a part of a community is to have a sense of belonging, to be able to be your authentic self. It doesn't mean you have to tell everybody about yourself, but you don't feel like you have to cover who you are when you're around your community, that you feel the support of everybody, and that everybody is there together, whether it's in the neighborhood, whether it's in the workplace. Having a place where once you're your authentic self, once you feel that connection with others, you feel that you belong. That's really where the engagement and the collaboration can truly begin. Because if you don't feel it, it's hard to collaborate. If you feel it, collaboration happens, and when it does, amazing things can happen.
Thank you, sister, for feeling it. I'm just saying. I love it. Otherwise, we won't collaborate on a lot. I love collaborating with a lot of people, and I love helping people. Um, but also, I am mindful more and more than the. I've never really done online communities as much as I have on LinkedIn. I literally lived on LinkedIn now for almost a year, right? I've only been on LinkedIn for about a year in terms of like really being consistent here. I build communities in person, guys, in person. Like that's an in person. But now it's like, wow, I have a global community. I have international students, and that's the reason why I kind of start building in LinkedIn. And it's amazing feeling and never stops. So if everybody think about it, if you have a bad experience, one bad experience, two bad experiences on LinkedIn, don't give up. There are so many amazing people who truly cares about you as a person with no judgment. And when I say no judgment, literally, Level Up Circle, Level Up in Hounds community, you will find. I'm not gonna guarantee 100% that you will not find a cuckoo person out there. I'm sure you will, but never give up on some of the people who are in our community, because there are people who truly cares about you. Shanda's like, cuckoo, CJ. I'm like, no, seriously, I've met them. You will not just ask me. I don't like to gossip about people. I won't tell you who it is, but you ask me, I'll tell you. But if you don't ask, I won't tell, because I don't do negative vibes. I only like positive vibes. I only want to enter in my circle positive vibes. That doesn't mean that you can't tell me your problems. You can. I'm saying like talking crap about others. That's not my thing. Um, I'd rather do some anthologies. I'd rather do press releases and write about you and how amazing you are than talk about others. I'm just going to do that. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for your amazing time spent with us. I love you guys, and I will see you on Sunday with Susanna. We do have a giveaway for the anthology. If you bring in 4 people, yours is free. If you come in on Sunday, comment as much as you want on YouTube, not on LinkedIn, YouTube, and then we'll do a giveaway. Bye, everybody. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Au revoir.
Bye.